Welcome to Broad Prospecting. This is John. So let's go lesson 2. Basics I wish I would have known coming into my career, starting out early in life. Qualifications is the subject matter here. Now, there's all these things. If you go online, you'll find memes complaining like, oh, it's an entry-level job, but they want 6 years of experience, whatever. Okay. I understand the concept because if you look online, the postings made by HR will say things like, oh yeah, this is entry level, no experience required, 5 years of Excel. You'll get those here and there because maybe that's an HR fluke, and I would say I don't want to rag on HR, but HR is making a lot of job postings not understanding what the actual hiring managers need. So keep that in mind. Second thing is, what technically makes you qualified for a job? Now, I'm not suggesting that you ever lie because you'll get caught and people are going to laugh at you, you're going to waste your time. But if you went on and you said, hey, Microsoft Excel, by the way, is the backbone of basically every business almost everywhere outside of really advanced industries, like some technology companies probably might not use it much, but everyone else does. And it's one of those things people laugh about. They try to get away from using it, but they always kind of get sucked back into it. So let's just use Excel as the example here. If you have used Excel for basic stuff, like let's say you track your finances in Excel. You take all your stuff off of whatever portal your credit card works on and whatever bank account your documents come through, and you categorize all your stuff in Excel. You make formulas to sum it all together in different groups, whatever it might be, run some VLOOKUPs against it to do XYZ, use a SUMIF function. The basic stuff that a business would use. Well, guess what? You're qualified to use entry-level Excel or maybe even intermediate-level Excel capabilities right now. The problem that you're going to have in an interview is they're going to say, explain how this XYZ function works and where you'd use it. Okay, cool. So if you made a sheet to track all your finances once and you use it repetitively, you never change anything, you never build on it, you're going to forget what a SUMIF does. You're going to forget maybe the structure behind a VLOOKUP, all the business basics. So I would say understand a subject matter maybe in your personal life, but use the subject matter, whether it's a finance topic, whether it's Microsoft Excel, whether it's making presentations, editing videos, whatever it might be. And then before you go to an interview, go on YouTube, go on Google and read something, go wherever you want to go, but get some sort of how-to on the basics. You'll probably know that they'll say, I want somebody that does VLOOKUPs and basic functions, whatever. They might even list out like a list of things they want you to know. Cool. Go and read 3 articles about each of those. And I mean seriously read or watch and consider them. So all you need to know is, I've done this before in this setting and I use it for this. Okay, step 1. Step 2, I've read 3 articles very seriously and considerately before this interview. So I've refreshed up on the topic and I won't look like a complete idiot if they ask me a specific question about this. And then when they say in the interview or whatever, because at this point we're assuming you've gotten to an interview because your resume says you're qualified. And you're going to go to them and say, I've done this. It's been a little while since I made one, but I remember that it's generally structured like XYZ reason, and you could use it to sum, or you could use it to look up, or you could use it to blank, just like it said on your online tutorial. Now, you're not lying. You're not going to go in there and say, I've used it for 4 years. You're going to say, I understand it and I can use it for you, because that's going to be a small part of the interview. Really it is, I promise. And then once you get into a role, if you're worried, hey, I'm behind on XYZ skill, okay, do some brushing up before your first day, because they're going to train you on the job. Almost every job will train you rather seriously. We're talking either you're going to have somebody above you working with you for days, or you're going to have someone who's going to be your designated contact to solve XYZ problems, or maybe you get into the job and you just say, hey, here's a spreadsheet using this function in Excel that they talked about, here's how it's already being used, and then go watch a video about it, reverse engineer what's happening on that thing and catch up. As long as you have the basics down, there's nothing wrong with putting something on your resume that says, I have experience doing XYZ thing. If you can talk about it intelligently and you can give an example of you using it even in an academic setting, very seriously. I'm not talking like, hey, I went to a course where they told me to write this formula and I wrote it. Checkbox. No. Use it to some degree. Make an effort. And guess what? You're now qualified at the low level. Now, there's always going to be cases where someone's going to go, oh, well, you have an XYZ, you haven't used this. If you go to an interview or if you talk to somebody in the process of looking for a job or whatever, and there's a gap between what was expected and what was listed on a job posting or what someone suggested to you initially versus what you get to when you get to a meeting, whatever it might be, I would take a sidebar with that person later on and say, hey, I'm going to catch up on this because I realize I have this hole here, but I have this thing down. Just address it. Go and learn in your free time even, because it's an investment in yourself. It's not an investment for the company. Learning something is always an investment in yourself. Go learn whatever you're missing, catch up later, but that should never hold you back on thinking I am not qualified to do XYZ thing in my life, in my career, wherever it is. And that's the general process that you should think about when you're deciding how could I qualify into this job. Because it doesn't mean you have to have 4 years of experience. It just means you have to understand the subject matter and be able to convince someone that you're going to pick it up and do it well enough, and then learn on the job. Again, don't lie. Do the basics. If you're not willing to put in 4 hours of prep work to learn something that's going to help you through the rest of your life anyway, then, I'm not going to be mean here, but you probably shouldn't be listening to this channel, because the advice I'm going to give you is going to be practical. If you can't spend 4 hours bettering yourself, keep doing what you're doing. I hope you will, but let's try to get ahead here. So I'll probably leave that in too, but have a great day. We'll wrap that one here, and thanks for tuning in here. Like, share, whatever. You know the drill with the whole creator thing. Thanks.